Hey, everybody, how are you? Welcome to our Homeschool Connect Expo noon o'clock, the live on here. So it's streaming everywhere. Thank you for being a part of this and everything. So we've got a great day in store for you. All kinds of things happening today. We have this conversation here now. And then we have one at 3 o'clock with
Paul and Kathy Cleveland from Boundary Stones. Boundary Stones is a history program. And so they will be here to talk with us and discuss the history program that they've written and why they are different and what to expect when you get their program. So,
yeah. So you might see someone behind us that's usually not here, and that is Tommy. He's going to come in and say hi here a little bit. And you might hear a little bit of cooing,
some hiccups,
and hiccups. That is our other grandson, Ben. So
we have grandparent duty today.
Yeah,
you didn't know.
Yeah. So so we have grand. Yep, there he goes.
There he goes. Let me step out for a second.
Yeah. But anyway, thank you for jumping on board. We'll let people kind of jump in here a little bit and get on here because I know a lot of people have been looking forward to this conversation and that we're going to have and with Cathrine Zoller. She's with the Rhyme and Reason series.
She wrote the Rhyme and Reason series. Yeah.
There we go. She wrote the Rhyme and Reason.
If you've been around very long at all, you know, thank you, son. You know that we have always expressed great admiration for Cathrine. Yes, Stacia, Tommy is the mouthy baby. We have great admiration for Cathrine. She wrote these books. I know at a minimum 15 years ago, she started writing these books because we taught our daughter to read with those books. So we have a great love for these books. Every time we have any kind of giveaway, she does a giveaway each time we have an event, and we just can't rave about them enough. And so I'm going to show you a couple of them here while we're waiting for Cathrine. The first one is the Hebrews book. And you can kind of see the illustrations. The illustrator of these, I think, was all by Mr. Sketches. I don't know who Mr. Sketches is, but that'll be a good question we can ask. But the illustrations in these books are really colorful, very engaging. Kind of got a little bit of glare on that one. But they tell the Bible stories. And really, if you are homeschooling from a Christian perspective, that is probably one of your main focuses. And so we love these books. And then one thing that I didn't know that she had until just this last year was a coloring book. And as you would expect, the illustrations are really phenomenal, but the kids get to color them. And then there's Bible lessons that go along with them. So this is Shadrach, Meshach, and Abednego. But anyway, I saw that one yesterday. I love these books. So we're excited to sit and talk to Cathrine a little bit. And I'm looking forward to her being here with us.
Yeah. So so it's what I love about these books is they're made for kids, but there's so much information inside these books, and how she has put together the illustrations and the information and everything else. It is absolutely amazing. So we love it, not only for kids, but really anybody that might be new in the faith, especially if they have kids or whatever, they're going to learn a lot from these books. So she has a ton of these books and absolutely wonderful. I can't say enough about them. But how we
while we wait.
Thank you.
Ever the teacher. Sorry.
While we wait.
It's habit.
I know. I got to learn while we wait. Here I'll show you here her exhibitor booth, and that way you can kind of see a little bit more of what we're talking about. And so what's really nice, let me blow it up here for you. What's really nice is when you're going through the exhibitor booth, so you can go to homeschoolconnectexpo.com and go right in. We're 365 days now, 24/7. And so what we have is here is her booth set up. So you can go in and really get to know, and see. So she has videos about the different books that she has, multiple, and even conversations with her talking about, the books. So it's a really nice way to really get to know her. She is a speaker. She goes everywhere. Probably not too much right now. With everything with COVID, but she has been everywhere. If you go to any one of your state conventions, she's probably there, or has been.
Yeah.
Or will be once we get to that point where we can get back going on traditional homeschool expos. But you can kind of see some of the pictures of it's not just Old Testament, it's New Testament as well too. So and what's nice about anytime that you want to go in and really get to know more information, you can visit the website, send an email, follow them on Facebook, contact her directly here. So there's a ton of different ways to really get to know Rhyme and Reason and get in there and even direct message. But if it's one that you want, you can bookmark. That's the beauty of the expo. You can bookmark it, and it just saves it into your area. Now we'll have to be registered for that, but this is a way for you to be able to save the places that you want to go back at some point, because you might not be ready, whether it be for financial reasons or you have something.
Well, make sure registration is free.
Yeah, registration is free. Our online expo is totally for free. We started this a couple years ago. We built a platform way back when, before of all of this. And we started expos, and we had 2 expos before COVID. And then once it hit and traditional expos started going off, we decided to do it 6 times a year. But then there's so many people that had questions, and I think it was a really good time for us to try to create a really good community for people as well. So we decided to start doing it 365 and get into and letting people know exactly what's going on. So so it's free to jump in, it's free to register, and you have all the information. But inside here, you'll be able to, I'll even show you here. I'll do a little plug for the Homeschool Connect Expo. If you click shop now, we have current discounts provided by exhibitors. And you can just keep scrolling and scrolling and scrolling. This is alphabetical order.
Legitimately, I put them all in by hand. Yes, keep scrolling and
scrolling and scrolling. So we have a ton of discounts that these exhibitors have given us to give to you guys.
So we had an attendee send me a message the other day that she only signed up because of the discounts. And I thought, what a great reason to sign up. Sign up only because of the discounts. That's okay. They're great discounts. And what you'll end up finding along the way is there are great videos and great vendors or exhibitors that you may never have heard of. And so we really encourage you, if all you're interested in are the discounts, head over there, get the discounts for sure. So let's have a little conversation about some of the stuff that's going on over the next month. Okay. So we are working on the September featured categories, and we're going to have a digital and visual arts category that's featured in September. I'm sorry. And in that, we're going to have special speakers that really are in that world. And so that will be kind of an interesting one if you have kids that are really interested in that. Math made easy. You know, math was always the one that I was really unsure of. Was I really going to be able to do math well? And this will have a great group of speakers that talk about how to teach math, tips and tricks and that sort of thing. That's another September featured category. And then the final one, I'm drawing a blank on. Do you know what the final one is?
No. No.
Well, we will let you know coming up. It's on the website. You can find it there. But we have great things going on. So it looks like Cathrine's having a little bit of trouble getting attached.
Yeah, that's probably my fault. Probably my fault. We're switching up our video. We were using Zoom, and now we're using something else that we can connect more and do more live things and stream it different places. And that way we can connect with more people and everything. But we're just going through the connection process. And so I think I totally confused Cathrine. So
nice.
Of exactly what to do.
Well, you know what?
So I will sing you a song now.
No, please.
No?
No, please.
Okay. All right. I won't sing you a song.
Won't sing a song. We'll just talk about us.
Yeah.
Okay. So Sam, 100 years ago, it seems like, was the vice president of a bank. And he came home one day. I was 11 and a half months pregnant, it felt like, with our second child, and said he was going to leave the bank and start his own company. And I said, what? Because that was incredibly scary back in that time. And I mean, it's probably pretty scary right now, honestly, but God just blessed us along the way. And we've had ups and we've had downs, but we have been blessed with 3 amazing children, 3 amazing in-law children that we got and we get to share with their parents, and now, of course, the 2 grandbabies. And so we're hopeful for the future that we'll have a slew of grandbabies running around. But that gives you a little bit of information about us. We've been married 26 years. Yeah, 26 years.
26 years?
26 years or 27?
26 years.
I don't know.
26 years. I think 26 years.
I got married in 94. Someone do the math for me.
26 years.
And it looks like Cathrine is
Yes.
working it out. So this is fantastic. We're so excited to have some time to spend with her. And Cathrine, I know you can potentially... Did she not hear me yet?
No, we're getting ready to add her to the stream.
Oh, perfect.
So
yeah, I don't know how any of this works. I just sit here and talk. So.
Okay. All right. So we'll
all right.
We'll join her real quick now. Hey.
Hello.
Can you hear us well?
I can. Can you hear me okay?
I can, yes. So everybody, I want to introduce you to Cathrine Zoller. Cathrine, I know that you may have caught wind that you are quite the rock star here at Homeschool Connect Expo. And you may not know, but I thought Stacia would have told you because Stacia gushes about you as well. You have given us some giveaways over the last few months. And every time we do a live product demonstration with those giveaways, we tell the story about why your products are so important to us, to Sam and I, and I'm sure to others as well. But years and years ago, we had this little baby girl who loved to read, and she wanted to read everything. And so we stumbled across one of your books in a bookstore, and she loved the pictures, and she picked that book up and would not put it down. And so, of course, we started gathering all of the other books, and through a lot of things, but definitely the encouragement of your books, she found Jesus. And she was able to create a life with a man who also knows Jesus. And they have created, and I'm hoping he'll come and visit with you, because I want you to know this. It's really important that you know this. This little man behind me is her son. And she is going to raise him to love Jesus, in part because of your books and what you did all those years ago for everybody, but I think it was for us. So this is Tommy, and Tommy is her first baby, and God willing, she'll have a ton of them because she loves being a mama. But it was really important for me to, and I was hoping he would cooperate because he's 2. Sometimes he doesn't cooperate. But I wanted you to see that your books are creating a legacy inside our family. And I know everybody, yeah, it's about all that we'll probably get with him because he has other things to do. He's a very busy little man. But I know I can't be the only one that's told you that. But if I am, I want to be the one to tell you that you and what you did when you sat down one day and decided to write a kid's book about a Bible story, you changed our future.
I didn't decide to do it. I think the Holy Spirit decided I was going to do it. It's a good story. If we've got time, I'll share part of it.
Yes,
but
please.
Thank you for telling me. Writing is a solitary endeavor. So when I get emails or cards or comments from people, parents and grandparents like you, I just can't tell you how it makes it worthwhile, because until people tell me, I have no idea if these books are reaching their mark. So thank you for that. Yeah, you probably made my week.
Oh, good. Oh, I'm so glad. So yeah, share your story. Tell us about how the Holy Spirit prompted you, because I'd love to know it.
Okay, well, I had been going to a Bible study called BSF, Bible Study Fellowship. I don't know if anybody in your audience is familiar with that, but it's a international Bible study. And we've been studying the book of Genesis. And at the end of the class, they have what they call share day. And anybody who can get up and share what they got out of that year's study. And so I was laying in bed. I'm a chronic insomniac, and I had just been laying in bed on a typical sleepless night. And I'm a speaker, so I knew there was going to be a microphone. So I thought, well, if there's a microphone, I'm going to be in front of it. The question is, what am I going to be saying to all these women? And I was just laying there, and this couplet came to mind. This is the one true story of how everything began. Because of love, our God began to formulate a plan. I thought, well, that's kind of clever. So I got up and wrote it down, back to bed, and another one came, and I got up and wrote it down and went back to bed. And I kept doing that, and finally I thought, I need to stay up till these quit coming to me. And by the time the sun came up, I put the entire book of Genesis to rhyme. I run off to Bible study, and I have to say it's a pretty stoic group of white women, not given to spontaneous bursts of applause. But I read my little and to applause. And this is 27 years ago, so before email. And afterwards, they all came running up to me with dollar bills and slips of paper saying, make a copy and send that to me. Make a copy and send that to me. I had one woman say, Cathrine, have you ever thought about making that into a children's book? I said, I hadn't thought of any of it till 3:00 this morning. But that's what got the whole thing started. And then every year that we would do another study, I'd put that book to rhyme. I joined a Christian writers group here in Tulsa where I live and started learning about query letters and blah, blah, blah. At one point, I'd sent out 35 query letters with my poem. And I'm thinking, if Stephen King got a $400,000 advance for Carrie, there's no telling what I was going to get for this. And what I got was a 34 very finely written rejection letters, but one call from a man who said, I think there might be something to this. And so that's what got it started. And I joke, except it's not funny, that it took me about 3.5 hours to write that and 13 years to get it published. So it was a very long, it was not, if I had, it's one of those things where if you knew what God was calling you to, you'd say, no, thanks.
Yeah, don't we all feel that way some days?
Wait and tell us where we're going until we get there, because some of us would have never signed up. But 3 of those years I was looking for an artist, and I looked all over the country, coast to coast, 3 solid years, because I knew it had to be the right fit. I knew that this person had to be able to bring the text to life and make it fun and entertaining and engaging. And so after a 3-year coast to coast search, I found my brilliant artist, David. He lives 15 minutes from me. He lives in a bedroom community of Tulsa called Broken Arrow. And he had always wanted to illustrate a children's Bible. So it's been this really, really beautiful, beautiful fit.
Okay, that's fantastic. I love that story. It's encouraging because, there's someone out there with a story to tell. And I think that they need to look at people who say it's not necessarily going to be easy, but tell your story anyway. And so I love that. Absolutely love that.
Well, I used to complain and say, God, I know that for you a day is as 1,000 years and 1,000 years is as a day, but for me they're 24 hours and I am running out of them. Can you get the show on the road? But it didn't move him. It didn't spur him on to action. But anyway, so now I've got 10 books in the series, And as some of these people may know, I've got curriculum that's all free. On the website, there's a tab on the website that says free stuff. And I've got coloring pages, word games, activity sheets. There's discussion questions with an answer sheet for the parents. So I've done all the work for them, just trying to find a way that parents can utilize these books as curriculum, as teaching tools, and really mine the depth of them, because they're, as you know, they're not just fluffy little children's books. These really are.
No. Yeah.
They have a lot of truth to them and a lot of depth to them, and it's so you can do it. A 2-year-old, get something out of it, and then an 8-year-old something else, and a 12-year-old something even deeper still.
Well, there's one of the books, and forgive me, I can't pick it out right now, but Sam has highlighted a couple of times that has the names of jewels in them. And he was like, I've never even known this stuff. And so, he said, even as an adult, he learned something from your books. But a funny story, when we first started talking about doing the live product demonstrations, I asked my daughter, because she kept every one of her books. And I said, can I use those to show that, you have loved them well? And she said, absolutely not. I am not going to bring those anywhere outside this house. Those are my books. And so I'm like, oh, that's not the answer I thought I would get. But she cherishes them. And so she wants them for her kids. And I think she was afraid that they would get lost. But that's fantastic. Have you found as time went on that it was easier for you to get new books added to the series or new projects published?
You're kind of going garbled on me, but I think I understand the question.
Okay, sorry.
So that's okay. I had the first 3 books out: Genesis, Matthew, and Exodus. And I was just sitting in prayer one day, and I don't know what I was doing. It's been so long ago, but I was just praying. And I think I was probably praying about the next book that I should do. And for some reason, I wrote down the Pentateuch. I wrote down the first 5 books of the Bible. And I remember thinking, if Jewish children are required to memorize the Pentateuch, why are Christian children not also compelled to know and understand these
Right.
first 5 books? Because they're foundational to Christianity. So anyway, I wrote down the 5 books, and then I felt like the Lord said, do you realize there's a New Testament counterpart to every single one of these books? And I had already done Matthew, so I thought, Genesis and Matthew are books of beginnings. Exodus and Acts are books of going out. Leviticus and Hebrews are both about the priesthood. Deuteronomy and Romans are both books of the law. So that became like my motivation for getting the next one out. So the next book was Acts after Exodus, because like I said, they're both books of going out. And then I had this long debate with my publicist, whom I love. She's one of my dearest friends, because I wanted to do Leviticus next. And she's like, Cathrine, nobody will buy Leviticus. I'm like, it's the funniest one of them all. And it's all about the holiness of God. And kids need families. And I'm telling you, it becomes such a good seller because there are no children's books on Leviticus. And that's the one that you're talking about, that talks about the names and the colors of the jewels that are on the priestly ephod that's on the garment. And another one that I hear from people all the time is in Exodus. David has named and identified each of the gods of the plagues of Egypt, because a lot of people don't know he came against their top 10 gods. These were not random or arbitrary plagues at all. God's always intentional in what he's doing. And because Moses' audience already knew to explain it. And so it takes some research, reading commentary.
I think we've frozen up a little bit on you, Cathrine. Hold on one second. Let me grab Sam. Hey, Sam. No, you can see it still?
Like I said, that I never do the 2 steps on that, no end.
Yeah, well, I know Stacia had sent a message. It was kind of freezing up on me a little bit. Oh, there you are. I got you back.
Okay, sorry about that. I'm not sure.
No, it's fine. It's, internet's great when it works, and internet's a pain when it doesn't. So, I just appreciate you taking the time to do it. So, tell us a little bit about what's going on now. What are you working on now? What's the next step? what can we expect
Well,
from
now,
Cathrine coming soon?
so I've got, like I said, I've got 10, Genesis, Matthew, Exodus, Acts, Leviticus, Hebrews. I did Daniel with Revelation because they're both prophecy books. And then I interrupted my process and did Esther and Jonah. And so
Okay.
now I'm doing Romans and then I'm going to do Deuteronomy next. Since I had 2 Old Testament books, I wanted to shift to New Testament. And then I'll do Deuteronomy, and that'll be 12 books in this series. After that, it's really going to be up to the Lord. I mean, it's always up to the Lord,
Right.
but I'm running space in my basement to books for one thing, and then the price point. If people usually want to buy the whole set, and the price point can be a little bit prohibitive. And so also for your listening audience, I've got a Book of the Month club, so people can join that Book of the Month club. And for I think it's $22.99. So the price of the book plus $3 shipping. And then on the 1st of every month, I ship the next book in the series out to you. And so if I can get Romans, like with everybody else, this virus has, all my shows got canceled. And so I don't have any more money coming into the ministry. So instead of getting Romans out in time for Christmas, it's going to be delayed. And I don't know how long it's going to be delayed.
Okay, so that's definitely something that we can pray with you about that and hopefully get that rolling again. I know eventually COVID will have to go away. We're very hopeful of that. So we're hoping that we can get back to a little bit of normalcy. So tell me, I'm going to let you scoot back in here a little bit. Sam had a few questions he wanted to ask you, and I want to make sure that he spent some time showing people your booth and around your booth. And of course we showed the books because we're just madly in love with them. But I'm going to let him kind of scoot in here, and I'm going to go back to grandma duty. I got a sleeping baby on the floor, so I'm going to get him. But Cathrine, thank you so much for joining us, and certainly let Sam have a little bit of moment of your time, and then we'll let you go.
Okay, awesome. Let's do it.
All right. Hey, thanks again for jumping on here and everything. We really appreciate it.
I have my calendar for tomorrow. So my phone kept ringing and ringing and ringing, and I'm in with my book study group. I said, I need to see who keeps trying to call me. So I'm glad I answered the phone.
It's all good. We took everybody through your the exhibitor booth and kind of walked them through so they can see more videos and your website. Awesome. What is the best way for someone to reach out to you and to buy your books? Is it on your website?
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah. Okay. I've got a store there. You saw, so they can just and then I've got bundles. So you can pick one, pick two, pick the whole set. It should be very user friendly. We've tweaked it several times over the years as people my age were having trouble navigating it. So we've tried to make it as user friendly as possible. And if anybody has any problems, there's a phone number at the bottom of the website that rings straight to my cell phone, so they can always call me and I can help them out in any way I can.
Perfect. That was one thing I just wanted to make sure, just to make everybody aware, the best way to get a hold of you guys to buy the products, because they really are. I mean, from the coloring books and the books and everything, they are top notch, and we love them, and the kids love them. So I'm glad you got to meet Tommy, and everything. But yeah, it's a.
One of the things I want to say, and I appreciate you saying that, because when I was telling your wife that it was 13 years to get this series or the first book to print after I had written it, but I wanted to have a book that would be an heirloom book. I wanted the highest quality book that I could possibly produce. So it's hardback, it's full color. The people that actually print the book are out of Canada. They're the people that print the National Geographic magazine. So glossy pages. Again, I want your little Tommy to take these books and read them to his children and his grandchildren.
Yes, I mean, and they really are. I mean, it is awesome to see that what you're looking for and what you're wanting is really what it is. They are heirloom books. They last, like you were saying. I mean, they are really really nice. So it is something, and I know Kelly, told you why they're near and dear to us. It's that, our daughter learning and growing her knowledge and thought in the Lord. So these are great. These are great gifts. Is Christmas is coming up. That's scary to think about.
Well, and baby showers too. I sell a lot of Genesis to people for baby showers. So
I wouldn't have thought about that, but that is a great gift. I mean, because a lot of times, I mean, everybody's like, "What do I get?" Because if you they already have diapers and they already have this and everything else, and this is something that they could carry on and read as they're little and kind of grow up into that, because the colors are absolutely gorgeous.
thank
So
you.
no, they definitely get the attention of the kids on there.
Right.
So, but well, yeah, I mean that's yeah, baby showers, the birthdays, and Christmas. The so grandparents, go out there and grab these, and support Cathrine, because I know your schedule has been crazy with all the traditional expos being canceled and everything, and so we definitely want to push support to you, because I know this is a weird time for everybody.
Yeah.
So, but the is there anything else that you want? I always try to end it as, is there anything else that we forgot to mention, or that you want to say that's on your heart, or
Um, I wish I'd been a little bit more prepared for that question. I talked about how I paired the books. I've mentioned the free curriculum that I hope people will take advantage of. Again, there's a tab that says free stuff on there. Um, we also, people can get printed materials that they can make, like vignettes for a nursery wall or a child's bedroom, or even like a church. If a church wanted to invest in these wall wraps, they can pick the illustration that they want, and then have them put up in their churches in their children's program. I know I see a lot of churches that have, they have space things or jungle themes, and there's nothing wrong with that. My thing is, if you're in a church and you want children to know the Bible, why aren't you putting Bible characters and Bible stories up there in your artwork? And that is maybe the point I want to wind up on. And you probably know this, Sam, but children are not even being taught the Bible stories anymore. Sunday school has gone the way of the dodo bird, and they've got, activities and things that they do to entertain these children. But for the most part, I hear this from grandparents a lot. Either they're grieving because their grandchildren aren't being churched, and so they buy these books to try to get the Word of God in them. But also, like I said, there's just a real lack in the church these days of teaching the traditional Bible stories. And so these books can do that. And then lastly, I want to say that the tagline for didn't I say lastly 3 times now? But the tagline for the ministry is getting these books in children's hands so children's hands will pick up the book. So the goal for the series, as you've seen with your little grandson, is or your daughter, is to familiarize kids with the themes, the concepts, the stories, the chronology, and certainly the heart of the Father, so that when they're old enough to pick up a Bible and read it for themselves, they have a foundation for understanding what they read. And because the first time I read a Bible, I might as well have been reading in Swahili. It didn't make any, I didn't know what I was reading. I didn't have any foundation. Oh, and also, I did hear the Bible stories, but they were just random. I heard about Daniel and David and Joseph and all of them, but I didn't know what one had to do with the other. And so it was important to me that, like in Genesis, that children understood what God's intention was in creation, and why the fall led to the flood, and why the flood led to the Tower of Babel, and why the Tower of Babel eventually led to Abram being called out. So again, there's this thread of history in this book that is the like the what's it called, the scarlet thread of the bloodline of Jesus going all the way through this story. So I want kids to get a grasp of that, so that the Bible is important and makes sense and they understand it.
I mean, and that is so important. And you know what you were just saying about Sunday schools and churches and the kids. I mean, this is the most important thing for them, and we've
Right.
just skimped on it. You know, the and what lessons that the world needs right now. We're kind of looking at the TV set and maybe seeing some items here that's almost repeating themselves. That because people don't know the history, they don't know what could happen and what's happening around us, and it's really the lack of hope and the lack of Jesus, and there's nothing else more than really that. A lot of this would go away if it was just that,
Yeah.
and the churches have just
Sure.
not
Sure.
they've struck their responsibility, and that's why I love homeschooling, because we can take this, and why I love people like you. You've given us the ability to teach our kids what we want, what God wants them to learn, and you've given us the tools and the opportunity to do so. And it is just amazing, and I'm glad that you kept with it and to get published. I think that's a lesson in and of itself, to keep fighting for that good fight, because you never
Right.
know what you're going to touch. But yes, I mean, and this is a great resource to teach something. You know, because at one point in time, I taught youth group at a church,
Wow.
on Sunday school, and because nothing was happening, and so I went to the youth pastor and said, "Hey, nothing's happening, and these kids aren't really enjoying themselves." And I had 3 of them in there, and he gave me said, "Fine, do it." And so I did it. I ran with it. And then I was told, "You're teaching these kids way above their level," because I was teaching the youth group more college and an adult type
Good for you.
studies. And I'm like, no, they'll get it. And even if they don't, at some point in time, they will get it. Because if we're training these kids to go to college, they're going to get hit with every single thing, and they need to know.
Right.
And so I wouldn't back down.
Good for you, because I always say kids are a lot smarter than we give them credit for.
They really are. I mean, they are really, and they get it, because there's that innocence there as well too, and they, you know, if there's trust in the knowledge, and once they see it, and once they pinpoint the pieces together, and like what you were saying, you know, you have this thread line, you have, you know, how everything attaches to one another. You know, these aren't just magical stories in some book. You know, there's rhyme and reason for every single thing, and you see, oh wow, look what I did there. There's I didn't even mean to do that. There's a rhyme and reason for every single thing in the Bible.
Right.
So wow, that's awesome. I didn't even think about that, but yeah, there is a rhyme and reason for every single thing
Like I said,
inside there.
he's very intentional. He's very specific. It's one of the things I love about studying the Bible is just seeing, all the parallels and comparisons. Here's a good one: is when the children of Israel or the Jews had disobeyed God in the desert, and 3,000 of them were killed until Moses held up the serpent. And then when we go to Pentecost, what do we see? We see 3,000 brought into the kingdom. And so there's all kinds of parallels, I call them, in scripture like that. These are the things that I love, because everything has meaning. Everything has purpose. There's nothing accidental, whether you're talking about numbers, whether you're talking about, the jewels on the breastplate, and even the pomegranates and the bells on the priestly garments, the colors of the tabernacle, the blue, the scarlet, the gold, and the purple. The blue represents the Holy Spirit. The scarlet represents the blood of Jesus. The purple represents I think the royalty of God, and then the gold represents the kingship. So all of these things, these types and shadows that we see all throughout the Old Testament, all speak of Jesus. It's obviously the most incredible, beautiful, complex book, and yet even a child can understand it.
Yes. Yes. And they will get it and understand it. And then it opens up the Bible to them. And that's why I always say these books, while they're made for kids, I mean, the adults are going to learn a lot of items on here because, without Sunday schools and without a lot of time studying and everything else, we're only, getting, some churches, half an hour a week of lesson of information, maybe. So so I think a lot of adults will, when they go through this with their kids, will learn so much off of these. So I just appreciate, I appreciate you. I appreciate these books and you being a part of this as we reach out to people who, have been homeschooling, who might not be in an area for a traditional school or homeschool convention, ones that homeschool conventions have had to unfortunately cancel. And then also everybody that's new, that never thought they would be homeschooling, and they did the emergency schooling with COVID, and they've seen a change in their kids, and they now stepping out and doing homeschooling full time. So
that's the silver lining of COVID, is we're seeing the homeschool community explode. It's exponential, phenomenal.
Yes, definitely. I appreciate it. Thank you so much for joining us and jumping on here. We really appreciate it, and we'll talk soon. We'll do this again, and that way we can kind of go over more information and dive in deep and just talk and chat and everything. So I think people will enjoy hearing more from you. So we'll do this here shortly soon too.
Happens on the website. People actually get on there and check out the books and buy them. So thank you so much for this, Sam. It's been a pleasure. And let's do it again.
All right. Hey, appreciate it. All right.
Okay.
Thanks.
Take care.
All right. Bye. All right. Well, thank you for joining us. We really appreciate you checking out the video. Go out to homeschoolconnectexpo.com. Check out the expo, the speakers, the exhibitors. We're always adding new items and new things out there. Make sure you join the Facebook community group if you haven't yet. But thank you again, and go out and show Cathrine Zoller some love at the Rhyme and Reason series. Go check out her booth, check out her website, grab some of those books. But appreciate it, and thank you so much. And we will be back at 3:00 today on Tuesday. So we'll see you soon.